Thank you. I was 18 when I became pregnant. Scared and confused, I looked for advice at a Planned Parenthood. I was easy prey because of my distress, and I bought the lie that was sold to me. Within a couple days, I was sitting in a waiting room of an abortion clinic. I was never told of the consequences I would face, and thinking this was my only choice, when my name was called, I slowly entered through the doors to a room where my child's life would end. I would never meet the person about to take the life of my child. He just entered the room prepared for his mission of destruction, and with no explanation of what was going to occur to me, he began the execution. The procedure was painful physically, and it felt exactly like what was happening. A suction would rip my baby from my womb. All I could do was stare at the wall, biting my lip, trying to get through it all. And when it was complete, I was led to a room among other women recovering from the same procedure. Some weeping, and others remained silent and dazed, as though they were disconnected. In the days and months following my abortion, I would relive that procedure, the sounds of the suction, the coldness of the room, and the other women's vacant stares. Soon the impact of my decision and its consequences started to evolve. I became depressed, and both my physical and emotional pain grew. Alcohol and drugs became my comfort and escape from the pain. I hated myself, and I became numb to my feelings. I grew distant from the ones who loved and cared for me the most, my family, and especially God. I had no one to talk to, and this was a difficult secret to bear alone, and the thoughts of ending my life became more frequent. I knew if I did not seek help, those thoughts would soon be reality. In my despair, I found myself in a church. As I begged God to help me, a priest entered the church, and by the grace of God, I gained the strength to seek help. Our conversation gave the hope I needed to begin to pull my life back together. He became my confessor, my spiritual guide, my friend, in the beginning of this long journey I was about to take. And he later revealed to me that I was an answer to his prayer, because he prayed for women who had had abortions, and he prayed for them to come back to the church and find healing. After several years, this journey took me to a special place of healing, a Rachel's Vineyard retreat. This is where I experienced God's mercy and forgiveness, and I had come to forgive myself. I left the retreat no longer bound to my past sins. I realized that no matter what I had done, no sin was beyond the reach of God's grace. I reconnected even more with my faith, and I was finally able to grieve the loss of my son, John Michael. I stand here today for my daughter, who's with me for the first time. I want her to hear the truth, and I want her to know the truth about abortion and what it does. And I stand for your daughters and sons and your granddaughters and grandsons. I want them to know the truth, and that's why I'll be silent no more.